everyone. Today I'm here with Helen L and Jane Wright. Helen from National Cybersecurity Center has worked in security for over 20 years and is a mentor at CyberFirst program. CyberFirst intends to inspire and encourage students from all backgrounds to consider a career in cybersecurity. And Jane Wright is a cybersecurity engineer at Kinetic and has been participating in the CyberFirst. Welcome. Today we will be discussing diversity in STEM and specifically cybersecurity. Can you share more about your experience with the CyberFirst program and how does it support diversity?
Yes, so CyberFirst program is very inclusive and they really encourage people from any background to apply. So I didn't study computing, I'm a mathematician by trade. We have had politicians, economists, historians come and join the programme, and what the CyberFirst programme allows for is that sort of base level of training. So if you have no knowledge, they put you through an intensive 8-week academy, which unfortunately I did online, but it just means everyone's got that baseline of information when they're applying to jobs, applying to internships. And something else that they provide is a vast list of contacts, a portal to apply to these jobs. You kind of accelerate through the job, the recruitment process that you wouldn't necessarily have being out with the programme. But yeah, I think it's very very inclusive and very encouraging and positive. Is certainly the experience I've had on it.
So what is the role of, do we have mentors or?
I think it depends what year you join. So with my year, we were the first year to go through it virtually. Mm-hmm. So I think everyone made a real effort to reach out to other members in the community because we were all stuck at home experiencing the same thing. But I say what you put into the programmes, what you get out. So if you reach out to alumni or staff, they will give you your time. They will answer any questions you have or point you in the direction of the answer. But I think it's really what you make it.
Okay, cool. And just in general, what are specific strategies that you found useful when promoting diversity?
Well, from our perspective of CyberFirst, but we did a lot of work just to really understand almost the state of things, understanding where we wanted diversity, what we had baselining, what we had at the moment, and understanding where the barriers were to inclusion, where things weren't perhaps as accessible, or actually perhaps you've got young women who really don't understand how they can add value to the cybersecurity industry and things like that. So making sure that we really understood where we were targeting, and we can't do it all at once,
right. But
building those jigsaw pieces and building that sort of pipeline that people can go through in order to actually be guided, I think, all the way through from beginning to end is what we were aiming for. It's a waiting game though as well. So we've, when we started off, well, across the whole pipeline of our bursary, for instance, I think we've got something like 22% women in that. But actually, if you look at the last couple of years, it's more up in the sort of 42% arena, but which is probably a result of the work that we did a few years before, the girls' competition that we've done. So it is very much you have to have a bit of patience, I think, as well. It's not going to change overnight, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And some of the challenges, maybe?
Well, challenges, I suppose it's reaching people. So we're very good, I think, as a cybersecurity profession of being a community and talking about things and getting together. But it's when we start to sort of try and reach those other parts where we do need to bring that diversity of thought, whether that's through gender, or whether it's through neurodiversity, or whether it's through differences in disciplines and specialisms. So I think sort of one of the challenges is actually reaching outside of our community, I think. Yeah.
Okay. And how can organizations or individuals work together to promote diversity?
I think one of the things that really works well is, I said in my presentation earlier, you can't be what you can't see. So I think the sort of little big things that organisations can do is really consciously make an effort to have role models and take photos and put them on the front, put them on panels, and just really it takes a bit of conscious effort to make sure you're thinking about that. But if all of the organisations did that, and all of the organisations sort of had a really good narrative about how diversity is really fruitful for what they're trying to do, I think that collective effort would actually be really impactful, and we're already seeing the benefits of that so far, I think.
Okay, so linking up to that, can you share some maybe success story or some positive anecdote?
Do you want to talk about anything from your perspective?
Yes, I mean, I'm at the start of my journey, so I can't say success story yet, but I am here, so I suppose we're on the road.
Yeah.
But it is valuable seeing, and as you say, you can't be what you can't see, and it was when I spoke to the NCSC's CEO that I was like, yes, this is what I want to do, that is who I want to be, if you like. How can I get there? And having a discussion with those around that are also working in the field. A really good bit of feedback I got was, you don't necessarily have to be one person, but talk to others that are leaders in their field, whether that's technical or focusing on diversity, and almost take the best parts of each person to try and build this, engineer or role model that you want to be for the next generations coming up.
Yeah. So you both have backgrounds in physics and mathematics. So how did you end up in cybersecurity? Would you recommend that for someone with that background to go into cybersecurity?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Cybersecurity is so broad that there's so much. I think it's a really immature profession as well, in terms of, you look at the medical profession that's been around for centuries, and actually the cybersecurity profession, with all its different aspects of it, is not dissimilar, but we're only 10, 20 years old. So I think the complex problems that you're up against, and the lack of precedent in a lot of areas, and to add to that, the massively changing sort of backdrop of both threat and how technology is being used, I think that provides a really rich ground for someone with a physics or a maths, or actually lots of other disciplines, to really think about, how do I go about this complex problem? How can I break this down? Those sort of traits and those sort of skills that you might build up if you're doing sort of maybe a sort of scientific method, or it might be that you've got maths logic, or sort of proofs and things like that. And it's not, you're not doing exactly your maths, but you're taking those skills and that mindset and that way of thinking to these complex problems. So there's a never-ending set of things to do, and I think that's great for anyone to get into.
Right, so you would suggest that logic skill basically is very useful in cybersecurity.
Yeah, logic, curiosity,
okay.
Ability. I think that sort of systems thinking, the ability to think holistically, break complex problems down into many steps. That's a really great trait, and then being able to tell stories and communicate really effectively. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe as a last question, what would be your most important piece of advice or message to someone that is considering starting the career in cybersecurity?
I think I'd just say go for it. As we've said, cybersecurity is in every domain and every discipline. So you can do cybersecurity of infrastructure, cybersecurity of the health sector. So it almost allows you to have a dual interest, or combine your job and your hobby, if you like. And we say cybersecurity, but it's a bit of a buzzword, because that could be legal, that could be coding, that could be legislation standards. So I think just go for it. You never know where the path is going to take you. You could end up doing all sorts of things.
Yeah, likewise, yeah. Being sort of putting yourself out of your comfort zone, I think, is a great piece of advice, because you really discover the limits of what you can do, and usually opens doors for other things.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That's all right. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.